They're gonna be talking about some dumb ragu. All right, this is a sad story.
We did grow up on ragu though.
Definitely did.
The meat sauce brand.
You gotta grow up on.
I've been exposing Africa's secret societies.
I'm gonna look
George,
up.
I love ragu.
I'm gonna check your videos, Uncle. I want to see that. I'm gonna check that out.
That's why I don't trust Africans. Tomatoes aren't even to African.
All else, fuck them. Okay.
Oh,
all
damn.
right. Chicago grandparents beat 5-year-old girl to death with a belt for soiling herself. Okay.
This is terrible. This is absolutely terrible.
You didn't see the second article I just put up on this, so you only got this part.
Okay, I don't need the other part.
It's not going to change your opinion.
It's definitely not going to change my opinion.
I got something I want to say about this.
Ragu is for Section 8.
Damn.
Ain't you from Baltimore?
Oh, wow. I got to send a shot. You send a shot. All right.
You from fucking Baltimore. You talking about Ragu is for Section 8. Y'all got that shit from damn the dollar store in the can.
All right, let's move forward. Grandparents from suburban Chicago have been charged with murder and the beating death of their 5-year-old granddaughter who was whipped a dozen times with a belt for defecating on herself, with the granddad allegedly confessing to being a little too rough during the fatal assault. Illinois prosecutors on Monday revealed horrifying details related to the July 14 killing of 5-year-old Jada Moore, telling the court that the girl had been subjected to beatings for more than 2 months, leaving her with severe contusions most commonly seen when car crash victims. The victim's grandparents, Klent Elwoods, 62, and his wife, Lisa Jones, 57, from Park Forest, have been arrested and charged with first-degree murder in Jada's death, which the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office has ruled a homicide caused by multiple injuries due to child abuse.
What really got me with the story is that it's not like this just happened one time. This had been going on for, 2 months?
Yeah, that's it.
And what irked me is I'm assuming that they had custody over the child because the parents was probably going through something.
You got it.
And sometimes when kids are putting in a different environment, their anxiety is different and it causes them to act differently.
Yeah.
Or maybe she had something going on with her physically. And instead of y'all going that route, like maybe there's something wrong with her physically, maybe there's something wrong with her emotionally. No, I'm just going to beat her ass. And that's something that we need to change in the black community, is just whooping your kids' ass every time they do something. That doesn't mean that kids should not be disciplined, because we know if you, what's the saying in the Bible?
Spare the rod,
spoil the child. But damn, we had an aunt who whooped her kids with drop cords.
Well, no, that was the aunt.
Boards.
We had more than aunts. We had aunts, uncles, family members that did that.
And we didn't experience getting whooped
like that.
With
we went to the bush and got the switch.
Only time we got our ass whooped is if we would fight.
Only time I got a whooping,
that's when we got our ass whooped.
I got a whooping once because me and Travis were fighting. And a fight between me and Travis as a kids, by the way, was me antagonizing, then we pushing, and then him beat me in the arm until it's over. That was a fight.
I would never physically.
That wasn't a fight. It was just kids, but my mama didn't want us doing that, so you get a whooping. But it was never excessive. But let's talk about the fact she was 5.
And then he was like, "Oh yeah, I think I might have been too rough."
No,
you're
saying I get your point, but that's not said in like he said it in a nonchalant way.
That's how I feel.
I feel like he probably was in the back of the car, like, okay, I probably went.
It was no probably. She's dead. You did.
Well, he's still in a moment of denial of the whole situation. But the point is, at what age is there a certain level like that? You don't discipline a child that's 5 the same way you would at 10, the same way you would at 15. Like at 15, you're probably not doing spankings. You're probably grounding, taking stuff away. You're doing more long-term.
No,
discipline.
some people still get their ass whooped.
But I'm saying for the most part, people tend to, at that age, you take stuff away, ground them. You can't go nowhere. You can't go to this party. You can't go. You stop them from being able to access certain things to actually punish them. At 11, you're probably still giving spankings. At 5, I thought at that point you're just giving stern warnings, little pops here and there. Why are you using a belt on a 5-year-old, giving full throttle wind up hits, lashes?
Those were lashes.
Contusions on her back and her buttocks. Now that's just you're doing way too much. Now you brought up the fact that she probably had a mother who
And I also felt like, was this some sort of frustration? Like, I don't want y'all.
No,
I
no,
don't
no.
want the kid.
I don't think that's what it was. So it said, mother speaks out after grandparents charged in death a 5-year-old girl. I look at him as a monster.
But you gave him to him.
Now, she said right here, she said, the mother of the 5-year-old girl who was allegedly beaten to death by her grandparents is speaking out. Kimberly Elwoods currently lives in Georgia and says she is going through a rough time earlier this year and be looking for a permanent home or a job. Let me ask this question. I'm not justifying it, but is it possible your two grandparents, you have a child that you raised and things didn't work out the best for her? She has a child. So you ask, or you get, she gives you custody over the child. Are you prone to be a little bit more, what's the word?
Impatient?
Impatient, aggressive with your discipline to try to make the child not end up like your daughter?
No, that's not how typically grandparents typically are much nicer
And spoil their kids.
to their grandkids than they actually are to their own damn kids, because normally they didn't raise them, so the grandparents raised them, or they're older now and they just treat them nicer.
But I'm saying, if you have a child that didn't turn out well and they have a child and you have custody over them, you're going to tend to do a little bit more to make sure they don't end up like the first time, like your child ended up. So you might tend to be a little go too far with your discipline, but a little too strict. You can't go out as often.
I don't think so, because it's a difference between a person just being a shitty person versus her saying, you know, I'm in a predicament where I'm trying to do better, find a place to stay, get a job. Can you guys take my daughter on until I am set up and able to care for her properly? If they did not have the patience to do so, then they just should have said no. Don't take on a responsibility that you don't want to take on. There's no justification for it. Lock their asses up.
I agree. You gotta go to jail.
Okay, if you don't fuck with it, fuck yourself.
It'd be spicy, and here lately, Travis turned up a couple of times, respectfully. Travis turned up on him.
Honorable says she grew up on Prego. I will get Prego every once in a while.
I know Prego.
That's sad. Kiefer beat the grandparents when they get to their sales. It wasn't real traditional grandparents. You said that.
Yeah, I said that.
Them was trash parents.
Real grandparents. Spoiled grandkids.
Facts, G-Dub. That's twice I agree with George. Travis is weak. This story just highlighting we have to be sure black people whose 90% of them adopt our children aren't taking black children for the checks. A lot of them do that.
That's true as well. Hold on.
Go ahead. We must police ourselves when somebody's wrong in the house. We uphold justice. I agree. That was hate. I agree.
You think it was anger?
Plugged up.
So and by the way, pause for a second. They was doing it. She was defecating on herself. So this wasn't. I'm not justifying. I'm saying this wasn't peeing on yourself. So did that add even more anger to it? That you're not supposed to be doing this. Once again, going way overboard, trying to discipline for something that she could have been probably handled way differently.
It's a difference. If a child is constantly shitting on themselves, this is how my mind works. First, I'm gonna see if there's something physically wrong. Then you take them to a counselor or see if something's mentally going on causing this.
I mean, if the mother is struggling, going through some things, maybe the child needs a therapist to talk about something that might have happened.
Maybe she's gone through something traumatic.
Exactly.
We used to play Mortal Kombat and WWF. My parents didn't like us to fight either. I couldn't imagine my parents making my kids discipline and redirecting. That's not the grandparents' responsibility.
Some people disagree. And see that, and that's a generational thing. Because back in our grandparents, they would think the whole neighborhood has the authority to discipline the kids, and then they'll get disciplined again when they come home.
Well, that changed with our parents' generation.
Yeah, Gen X. They're like, you ain't touching my kid.
A daddy's voice holds more weight than a mother.
In some instances,
the inmates will know who they are when they touch down.
And one mention of the father. Hey, it's unfortunate. It was right here. Her father visited her in Georgia and agreed to keep her daughter, Jada Moore, for a couple months. Just a few days ago, Kimberly received a call that she never thought she would ever receive. Her father was accused of killing her young daughter. So she only been with him for a few months.
Yeah.
That's sad. So
isn't that sad to think, I can say she tried as a parent to at least give the child to people who raised her, who she thought would care for them.
Had the best interest for the child, yeah.
Instead of taking them to the system and giving them over to foster. She might have been better in foster care than she was with her own blood.
And we know
That's
how bad.
sad.
We know how bad the foster system is. We talked about earlier with the kidnapping and missing kids. We know the foster system, they lose kids all the time. So
yeah,
the fact that it's possible that the kid would have been safer in that environment than it's your own parent,
sad.
it's unfortunate. All right,
Here you go with this bullshit.
Now we were talking about where's the line of discipline.
Yeah, where's the line?
This is a father who's having. This is a man who's having a
is
child.
Is this justification for putting a child to death?
Don't do that. Don't.
That's what it feels like.
Now let's show this video.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked.
My neck! Let my neck go. I'm gonna get your tablet. Okay? Okay? Okay! My neck will come out, girl! Paris, stop! Stop!
Now y'all tell me, what is the situation? How do you handle that? He took a tablet or something from her, and she's biting him.
I think he was joking with her, but the child was actually being
It's really
serious. So you discipline her and say, no, that's not okay. Don't bite me on my neck. I ain't gonna take her to the back and give her 12 lashings.
No, nobody said that. Nobody said
and put her 6 feet under.
Nobody said put a belt near her at all.
Then what should we do?
What is the line of the discipline you take here?
Is
it the talk, the yell, or the little pop?
It's the little pop on her ass. That's what it is.
Okay.
Don't do that shit no more.
Well, since we talk about parents and their kids, we can't not mention this. Miami woman, 18, arrested after allegedly trying to hire hitman to kill her 3-year-old son.
That's bad. It's like it's getting dangerous out here. 3-year-olds getting hits put on them.
Like,
did the kid have insurance?
Who puts a hit
life
out
insurance?
On their 3-year-old?
Who puts a hit out on their spouse?
And who
puts a hit out on their mother and father?
And this is a Hispanic woman.
I'm not surprised. Oh, it's probably shit. Damn.
Oh, Lord.
There's no justification, period. I got a weird vibe off the mom. On code, I agree. She looked like she had a pet rather than a child. How she looked. I think she knew grandparents were overboard this time. Even the 5-year-old shit on grandparents' pillow on purpose. She still didn't deserve that.
I agree.
There was a similar case in NC where the grandmother beat the grandchild and now is in jail. My mother's side are, what is that? Otto.
I ain't gonna lie, I don't know.
Regina, what is that?
Regina, you got me right there.
I'm stuck.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Regina.
Hold on.
This actually got me, damn.
What you mean it actually got you?
I'm trying to act like it's not normal.
A toxinus.
You hit it? Oh, no, you can't hear it. You're not gonna be able to hear it. You're not gonna be able to hear it. All right, go ahead.
Anywho.
You got it?
Hold on.
Damn, nigga, what you doing?
Sorry, y'all.
Okay.
Black Indian from OK, they only have to look at you and you'll get your shit together. Very few spankings occurred in my child. Yeah, sometimes my mom just gave us the look sometimes, and we knew to go sit our ass down.
Yeah.
If she's shitting on herself, there was abuse in the house. That could be true as well. Maybe they hit her a couple of times, and then yeah. Maybe she was a shit mom. I think children pissing on themselves means it's an abusive environment. They're not comfortable getting up.
I know. There's a thing where they said if you see a stark change in kids' behavior, like they go from not washing their hands to washing their hands constantly, that means that there's probably some level of abuse going on, sexual abuse sometimes.
Child can't adjust like children, and that's a coping mechanism in abused kids. George is a guidance counselor major, so he would know. Maybe she had shit parents. She's a monster. Had the kid survived, the kid could have continued cycle. We have grown children raising kids now.
Oh,
what up family? Eastwood is in the building.
Eastwood.
Okay, that's why he said Travis about to get moist. Foster system is trafficking. Okay.
All right, let's move forward.